السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده تعالى ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبد الله ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا فصلوات الله وسلامه عليه يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens up Surah Al-Kahf by praising himself. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the beginning of Surah Al-Kahf, praise to him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is praising himself. Why? Because he sent down the Quran, the book, to his servant Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and did not make in that book any sort of deviations, any sort of connivery, any sort of hardness or hardship in understanding it. Very clear. qayyima. Now the word qayyim in the Arabic language can refer to two things, or mean two things. Number one, it can mean that it's straight. Something is qayyim, something straightforward. And the Quran is that. It's straightforward. It gives it to you in its essence, in its core. Straight to the point. Anyone can understand the major concepts in the Quran. Anyone can understand what monotheism is, worshipping Allah alone, without any partners. Anyone can understand prayer. Anyone can perform it. Anyone can understand what fasting is, and anyone can perform it. And so on and so forth. It doesn't take intellect. It doesn't take a scientist to understand the concepts of Islam, understand the pillars of Islam. Anyone. It's a religion for anyone and everyone. The second meaning, qayyim, meaning from the qima, that of great value. Because the Quran came with great values and great principles. It came with justice, with truth, with kindness. It tells us, worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. Be good to your parents. Be good to the orphans. Be good to the travelers. Be good to the poor. Say good words to all people. So the Quran is a book of great value. It gives us great values and principles. Now, for the past few khutbahs, past few sermons, I've been talking about the theme that we understand Islam in a very limited sense, and that we need to become more comprehensive in our understanding of the Quran, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of repentance, and so on and so forth. Today I want to continue on that theme about Sharia. Our understanding of what the Sharia is once again very limited. Let's expand it. And this, you will see through this, my beloved brothers and sisters, how important knowledge is. How important it is to understand and study Islam. Go to work, put on a lecture. Coming back from work, put on a lecture. MashaAllah, there are beautiful imams and shuyukh in America. Listen to them once, 1 hour a day, half an hour a day, and you'll gain knowledge. Now the Sharia, the word Sharia comes from the root shara'a, which means basically to be on a path to something. We say in Arabic, shara'tu bis-safa. I'm on the path to traveling. So, and even today in Arabic we say for a road, what do we call a road? Shari', because it's a path. So the Sharia is a way or a path, meaning a way of life, a path in our lives that we take. So it's not simply a code of conduct, it's not just law, it's everything. Everything in Islam is part of the Sharia. So being kind is part of the Sharia. Being honest is part of the Sharia. Being an honest businessman is part of the Sharia. Standing up for justice is part of the Sharia. Being kind to your family, to your spouses, is part of Sharia. Teaching your children is part of Sharia. Teaching yourself, becoming more knowledgeable, is part of Sharia. Gaining provisions, making money, is part of Sharia. So this is the Sharia in its true sense. It is the way of life. And it's not simply fiqh. Fiqh is a part of Sharia. And not fiqh is Sharia. Now, fiqh, or Sharia, is a system. It's not just a bunch of laws that's just there, laid out for you. It's actually a system. Like the legal system here in America, the judicial system, it's built through a methodology. It comes through a methodology. When the government wants to pass a new law, do they just write down a few things and now it's a law? It's part of the American law? That's not the way it works. The president provides something, it goes to Congress. Congress studies it, they vote for it. If they pass it, it goes to maybe another phase, etc. That's the way it works. It's a system. Likewise, the Sharia is a system. It's built off concepts. It's built off principles. It's not simply, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, like it or not, that's it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the Sharia flexible, so that it's capable of coping with every time, every place, with every issue, and every situation. It provides you a solution. It does not make things hard on you. It provides you with a solution, and not opposite. It doesn't make things hard for you. It doesn't close the doors in your face. That's not the purpose of the Sharia. That's not why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the Quran. He gave us the Quran to be a solution to our own issues and to our lives. And it's a system built off mercy and not hardship. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that His mercy surpasses His anger, His punishment. Meaning it's always mercy. It's mercy. If there's a punishment, that's because it's for another reason, for one reason or not. It surpassed mercy. Mercy here is not applicable. But in its pure sense, in its original form, it's mercy. How so? If someone were to come to me and say, I have this problem. For example, let's take the issue of housing and mortgage. You know, it's very hard now to buy a house. There aren't very viable solutions for us. I have my opinion on the issue. Someone comes to me and says, you know, I want to buy a house. What do you think of this fatwa? What do you think of these banks? So on. So what do? I don't have a solution. I say what I want to tell you, or what I believe, isn't a solution for you. Go ask someone else who might be more knowledgeable in this. Maybe they'll give you a solution. But for me, I'm not going to say this is my opinion, follow it, you have to follow it. Rather, ask other mashayikh, ask other scholars. Maybe there's someone out there, inshallah, there's someone out there more knowledgeable than me who will provide you with a solution that I have not come up with yet. There might be other options out there, I don't know. So me, I provide a solution for someone else, I don't shut the door. And if I don't have that solution, then part of Sharia is to try and point him to someone who will give them the solution. Number two, Islam, the Sharia gives you benefit of the doubt. It gives you benefit of doubt. Meaning, you are innocent until proven guilty. This is an Islamic concept. From day one, you are innocent until proven guilty. And I will give you a very clear example of that, inshallah, later on in the Khutbah. But that's part of mercy, that you get the benefit. You are innocent until proven guilty. Finally, before I get into the major topic, the Sharia provides you with that which benefits you. It doesn't provide you with that which dictates your life. The goal of the Sharia is to provide you with happiness and not to dictate your personality, not to dictate your mentality, not to dictate your thought, nor your culture, nor your lifestyle. Rather, it takes what you have in good, takes your good qualities and makes it better. It emphasizes it. It encourages you to use it. If you like to give charity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encourages you, give charity, praises you for that. If you like to pray, to worship, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Sharia is with you. It encourages you to do that. It provides you with the best way to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It teaches you where to put your charity so that you get the most reward. Not only you get the most reward, but it benefits the society with the best way, in the best way. It gave you categories. Start with who? Your parents. Your parents are fine. Your relatives, your siblings. Start with them. They're fine, and go to the poor in society. They're fine, go to the orphans. It gives you a methodology so that it maximizes the benefit of your own charity. So now you get two benefits. The reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number two, you benefit society. If you like helping others, you're financially you're fine, but you don't have enough to give. You're not really strong in worship, but you like helping others. And the Prophet ﷺ said that it is more beloved to me to help a brother in need than to sit in my mosque for a month in i'tikaf, worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at night. So use that. Help others and increase your own piety through that. So it takes your good qualities and makes it better. It emphasizes it, makes it stronger. It takes your bad habits and changes them to good habits. I have a bad habit. I watch, for example, too much TV. I want to change that. What does Islam tell you? Instead of watching shows, sitcoms, watch something that's beneficial. Watch a documentary. Watch something about Islam. Watch something that will benefit you. changes your bad habits to good habits. If you fall into sin, right? Let's say one is being tested with alcohol. They're addicted to alcohol. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes that, encourages you, doesn't reprimand you, and encourages you to leave it. Says there is stuff that's better. Instead of drinking alcohol, you can do this and that. Alcohol is bad for you. Alcohol does not provide you solution. It makes your life harder. So this is the Sharia. The Sharia came to benefit you, to provide you with the best solutions, to provide you with that which makes you happy. It did not come to close the door on you. It did not come to dictate your lives. And the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّ الْحَلَالَ بَيِّن وَإِنَّ الْحَرَامَ بَيِّن وَبَيْنَهُمَا أُمُورٌ مُشْتَبِهَاتٌ لَا يَعْلَمُهُنَّ كَثِيرٌ مِنَ النَّاسِ. Halal is clear, haram is clear, but between these two is a gray area. Most people don't know. The scholars know. And the scholars have opinions, but the commoners don't know. We all know salah is obligatory, and there are 5 prayers. We all know fasting Ramadan is obligatory. We know that. We all know drinking alcohol is forbidden. We know that murder is forbidden. This is clear cut. There's no argument in it. There's no debate over it. But there is that gray area. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purposely made it like that. Why? To leave flexibility in our own lives. To allow the scholars to differ and come up with opinions and apply opinions in society that's beneficial to that society. Fact of the matter is, us here in America, we're Muslims, our mentality is different than those living in the Middle East, those living in Southern Asia. This is reality. What's suitable for us might not be suitable for them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala left that gray area to keep that flexibility there. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. Now today, Sharia is being bombarded by the Islamophobes. Being bombarded. Sharia law is extreme, it's violent. All it is cutting off hands and noses and whipping people and stoning them. This is their concept. But we said that Sharia is the way of life. It's more than just fiqh. And because of this climate, this culture, this clash of ideas that we're having right now, not clash of civilizations, clash of ideas. First of all, this clash of ideas isn't something new. Back from day one, there were clashes of ideas. But back then it was philosophy. It was creed-based, theological. The Greek theology versus Islamic theology. Some tried saying that the Greek theology is superior to Islamic theology, therefore we need to understand Islam through the Greek theology. Some said no, we can combine between the two. Others say no, it's Islamic, we don't care about the Greek theology. But that was there before. Today, it's a battle of ideas, likewise, but it's over civil issues, not theological issues. Over legal issues, not theological. Why in Islam a man is allowed to marry 4 women? Why is the adulterer stoned? Why do you cut the hand off of the one who steals? And because of this climate, 2 extreme groups came about. You have the extremist groups, the fundamental groups as they're called, ISIS, right? We are going to apply this 100% regardless of time, place, religion. Everyone is going to be forced to follow what we say, to our own understanding too. And you have the very liberal, the extreme liberals, saying that we're just going to reinterpret Islam in its entirety, to fit and suit our culture, what we want. 2 extremes. And Islam is almost always, in the middle. This mentality, these 2 extremes, although they are completely different paths, they come from the same essential mentality, the same idea. Both of them are ignorant, and both of them want to interpret Islam based on culture, but they just went 2 different paths. One saw that culture is bad, therefore we're going to force Islam over it. The other saw culture is good, therefore we're going to force Islam to follow culture. But it all goes back to the culture. The same idea, but they just went different paths. Now I want to give an example of how ignorant both groups are. And those who bombard the Sharia, their bombardment is so ignorant and so unfair. the punishment for someone who steals. The way you see on TV, in Aladdin, in movies, some little poor kid goes to take, he's starving, he wants to eat an apple. Some guard with this huge sword comes immediately. They want to cut his hand off. That's as far from the truth as you can possibly get. What I'm going to say are the conditions that need to be available before applying this punishment. 8 conditions. All of them need to be met. And I'm taking it straight out of the books of fiqh. I'm not getting it from anyone. I'm not making this up. Out of the books of fiqh from 1,000 years ago, not today. Number 1, the person who stole needs to be legally responsible, meaning he's not a minor in our terms today. If the person who stole is a minor, the punishment doesn't apply to them. Number 2, it needs to be a certain amount, above a certain amount, which is 4¼ grams of gold, which comes out to about $170 today. Meaning someone goes into the store and steals a bag of chips, or a little child who takes an apple in Aladdin, the punishment isn't applied to them. It needs to be $170 plus. The third condition, that which was stolen needs to have been properly stored. Meaning, if someone were to put money outside on the front lawn, someone comes and steals it, the punishment of stealing isn't applied to that person, because he took something that wasn't properly stored. Meaning there needs to be some sort of break-in. The thief, needed to have broken in order to steal. Meaning something's in a safe, something's inside a car, something's inside a home. They broke into it and they took it. That's the third condition. Number 4, that which was taken needs to be Islamically recognized as valuable. Meaning if someone were to steal alcohol has no value Islamically. Pig has no value Islamically. Therefore, if someone were to steal $170 worth of alcohol, the condition hasn't been met. Number 5, the thief needs to know that what he took is worth more than $170. Meaning if he took a book, and he doesn't know, it's a very valuable book. It's a historical book, has much value. He didn't know, I thought it was a book. He'd go sell it at some sort of a vendor. Right? He doesn't know it's worth more than 170. But it turned out to be more than 170. That condition hasn't been met, the punishment is not applied. Number 6, he commits the crime secretly. Meaning no one sees him when he's committing this crime. He enters the house at night, no one's home. He breaks into the car, no one's around him seeing him. Number 7, the person who was stolen, the commodity was stolen from him, needs to actually take the issue to court. Meaning if the government were to catch him, they cannot apply the punishment to him unless the person who the money was stolen from actually comes and asks for their right, for that punishment to be applied. Number 8, there cannot be any sort of doubt or speculation in the crime. Meaning, if the person who the money was stolen from, it's known that he doesn't like the person he's accusing, there's some sort of feud between them, there's doubt here. There's speculation. Did he make this up? And so on. There are many branches to that. 8 conditions that need to be met. Now, how hard is it to meet these 8 conditions? It's extremely hard. Meaning someone who falls into this, to be very blunt, is a fool. He deserves it. He's a fool. Because it's very, very hard. Not only that, that individual has the right to a lawyer. He has a right to a lawyer. And the lawyer can get him out of it. Islamically, he can get him out of it. He can protect him. Because the point of the Islamic penal system isn't to execute it, but rather to create a stable and safe society. Therefore, if that individual, can we move forward? Brothers and sisters, if you can move forward so everyone can come in. So the point of the Islamic penal system is to create a safe and secure and stable society. To create individuals who are straightforward, they are law-abiding. Therefore, if they are become law-abiding without the execution of these punishments, then we have fulfilled that which the Sharia came for. There's no new reason to. And therefore the ayah says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ تَابُوا مِن قَبْلِ أَن تَقْدِرُوا عَلَيْهِمْ فَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Except for those, referring to punishment, except for those who repent before the government gets hold of, takes them into custody, then know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all forgiving and all merciful. Meaning, if someone committed a crime, and before he was taken into custody, he repented, then the execution is taken off of him. I'm not sorry, not the execution. The punishment is taken off of him. The government is not allowed to punish him. This is the mercy of Islam. A million ways to get out of it. In order to be accused, in order to be indicted, so many conditions need to be met. Extremely hard to apply it, extremely easy to get out of it. We just ask that you repent. Don't do it again. And know, if you study Islamic law, the Islamic penal system, then know that the people in which Islam really seeks to punish are those who publicly commit crimes. They commit it in public. And when crime becomes widespread, public, that creates a society of fear. A society that's scared. And unfortunately here in America, people are scared. They're afraid to walk out at night. Women are afraid to walk alone. This is the reality. And I've heard from many Westerners in the West, in Jordan, say that I feel safer walking the streets here in Jordan than I do in America. That's the reality, because crime has become so apparent, so public, that it created this society of fear. And that's why so many people have guns. Everyone has a gun now, because they're afraid. They're afraid of that person. I remember a police officer told my mother once, that I don't go to sleep except that there's a gun under my pillow. He's a police officer. He's trained. But with that, he's still afraid. So Islam, the Sharia, is mercy. It came to give you mercy. It came to make you happy, to provide you with solutions. It didn't come to shut the doors in front of you. It didn't come to make you poor. It didn't come to dictate your lives. It came to make you a better person. It came to take your good qualities and make them better, to take your bad habits and turn them into good habits. Islam came to make you great. Islam didn't come to make you weak. Another topic, maybe, is the Sharia and culture. Unfortunately today, Islam has been cloaked by culture. And I like to call it the culturally cloaked Islam. Meaning, in the Eastern world, a lot of what happens is culture-based. There was an incident recently in Pakistan where a mob killed a person who committed blasphemy or said something about the Prophet or the Quran. I don't know the details, but this happens a lot. A mob goes and they kill him. That's 100% wrong. Number one, every person deserves a fair trial. Every person has a right to an attorney. Every person has a right to defend themselves. And even Abu Hanifa says, if someone says a phrase or a word of blasphemy, it is obligatory upon us to understand it in the best way. If we can understand it in a way that's not blasphemy, it's obligatory. It's not that we recommend it, it's obligatory to hold it on that meaning. So that we don't apply that ruling to them. We don't consider them to be someone who committed blasphemy. Number three, he has the right to repent. Number five, he has the right, before applying this, scholars go and talk to them, to the individual, say, look, this is wrong, just apologize. You apologize, they'll uplift the ruling upon you. Finally, only the government has the right to execute these punishments. People don't have the right to do that. So what happens is you get this culture of over-exaggerating anger in the Middle East and Southern Asia, and it becomes Islam. This is what Islam says. These people, therefore Islam, there's a big difference between Islam and culture. And unfortunately today it's so mixed that culture interprets Islam. Islam is interpreted and explained through culture. And that's far from reality. A few announcements. The women's meeting at OCIF is on Tuesday, April 25th at 11:30 to raise funds to renovate the Sisters Prayer Hall. OCIF is starting a new class on Thursdays between Maghrib and Isha called What Islam Says. Please join me. It's given by me and it's in English. OCIF is offering a presentation on how to better care for our aging parents on Friday, April 28th at 7:30. It's here in the masjid. Mission Viejo Mayor's prayer breakfast is on Thursday, May 4th at 7:30 a.m. We are looking for more Muslims to participate and attend. Please visit the office for more information or check the flyer outside. All Quran classes in the youth group are tonight. The youth group is between 7 to 9. Sheikh Yasser Burgess will be coming from Dallas to teach a new Al-Maghrib course titled Protect This House. It talks about dealing with modern day family dynamics and fixing relationships and parenting. You can find more information at almaghrib.org. These seminars are very beautiful. I used to attend them before going to Jordan. So Muhammad Faqih, Sheikh Muhammad Faqih, I actually took classes with him before I even started, before I went to Jordan. So he has a big place in my heart. And their courses are very beautiful, they're very beneficial, that knowledge, that Bible knowledge is very good. And these are great teachers. These are some of the best teachers you will find here in America. There's also the Sisters English Tafsir Dars, a lecture on Tuesdays from 11:30 to 1:30 to 1. 11:30 to 1. English Tafsir for sisters. Wednesday, same time, 11:30 to 1. Arabic Tafsir for sisters as well. Allahumma ighfir lil muslimina wal muslimat wal mu'minin wal mu'minat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat innaka sami'un qareebun mujibud da'awat ya rabbil alamin. اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي إليها معادنا واجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير واجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وأقم الصلاة.